You see this man right there? That is me. And I just made a mistake by committing and not staying on the hill in front of thousands of people. Because I could, I guess. I've always loved esports, whether it's CS, Rocket League,
This is Rocket League!
Apex Legends, or World of Tanks.
Which bush? That's the real question. He peeks around. No light bulb yet. Can't tell. He gets the spot. The shot comes in. I don't believe it. Inspire gets it done. And now...
Just the whole premise of it, especially the underdog stories. And I think it's easy to tell if you ever stumbled upon my channel before.
They're not in safe positions.
I don't think they can keep this up. It is a
Being number one. And Invil, I think Mojo, they're doing it once again. Just faster mentally. Amount of progression.
But this was not my first tournament. This was. And David happens to be RFC. A proven multiple tournament winner. He came here to try his luck as an FC and perhaps beat Invil himself. The team was looking better than ever skill-wise, really. And we actually qualified and did super well in the group stage, ending up first in our group. But then we did a Ferrari and fucked it up and it mattered. Upper bracket game, lost. Lower bracket game, also lost. And just like that we were out. Unfortunately the big loss got into his head and he pulled out from FC and went back to Invil, which left us with no FC and a players deficit. And only 1.5 months after this flop of a tournament came next one. We were lacking players and NFC, but we decided to still try. And this was the team we came out with for the next one, which this video is about. Round 2 for me it was, but first thing we had to do to even be able to compete was qualify. Luckily, our bracket wasn't consisting of many good teams. Actually, there was only 2 teams that could put up the fights. Stacked and Rave. And well, Rave would be the first team that we would face. A new team on the European server, although they have been a top 5 on the Russian server consistently and they are actually quite experienced. But that didn't bother us because we lost the first one. Okay, maybe not the best of starts, but there's still everything to play for really, it's best of 5 after all. In the second game they played aggressively on their defense, we basically taught them not to, and so it was 1-1. Third game, coming into Himmelsdorf, we defended our base better than they did theirs, and so it was 2-1 now, match point. We win this game, on paper the toughest opponent gets beaten and eliminated. Second Himmel, we get into this situation where they get stuck at the bottom. For once I make a good call to rotate and win the hill. Force them to make a move, we win and secure the spot in the semi-finals of the qualis. First step was completed and morals were high since we just won 3 in a row. And we went with it. And won another 3. Boom, boom, boom. Now it was time for stacked.
Welcome and hello to the Displate Clan Showdown Qualifier 1. We are in the finals of Group 3, where the team of Stacked and the team of Goodnight Nomi are going to fight for a spot in the group stage.
And so we did.
Of Goodnight Nomi, just because they're able to completely overwhelm and roll over.
In the first battle we pushed bottom, but not from the get-go. We let them get on the hill, they were slow as hell rotating from the hill, and by the time they rotated it was already over. In the second battle though, something terrible happened, and it of course had to involve me. You see that alley right there? The tanks there live forever. And you see this 279? That's me, and I got told to go there, and because I went there, I died, the other 279 and the alley died. We lost the alley, they were able to basically just copy before we could have, and they won. But hey, shit happens, and the game goes on. Now it was time for their defense of Fishermen, and defend they did, but we knew exactly what to do against such a camp. We just started picking up tanks that they placed too aggressively, picking up one also during a push, and at this point we had control over the whole map. 2-1 it was. Oh, by the way.
Also Clck, good effort there with 3.4.
But the next battle, it's... I mean, just take a look. This is when our EBRs should have just bailed, but they did decide to run, but it was 1-by-1 and it was too late. The 260 decides to commit to try and help, but in the result of that he just suicides. So after donating a free game to them, the tiebreaker it was. And it would be on Cliff, map where there's no perfect tactic. You either get it or you don't. And that's why it's such a good map for a tiebreaker, really. And we opted to play the top. And since they played bottom as an attacker, they were forced to make a move which never works.
And congratulations to Goodnight Nomi for being the third team today to make it into groups, which are going to happen Saturday at 4 p.m. CEST.
I mean, that's why their team name starts with good, right? Because it's always looking good for them.
If only it was true. Now it was time for a group draw. Yeah. If you don't know the names, we basically got the best team in Europe and a best team in Russia. So best two teams in the world. But it ain't over until it's over. Right? We started off solid with a defense on Sand River which they couldn't break, but then we started falling to pieces. We lost a K-line brawl from a better side which should never have happened. Mind you, this is the only team which we should have realistically beaten. Next up we made a move which they were completely ready for. Second Live Ox, they opted for a defense that should never work on this level. At this point we were already making cup pressure whereas they weren't, and it was just looking really good. Despite that, their Manticore was still unspotted and we had no clue where it was. We never would have expected what was to come. Turned out he was there this whole time, and he didn't reset us, just once. Because of that, we capped at the same time and it was a draw, but they were defending, so they won. This is how the table looked like after the first round, and our best chance of getting some points was gone. Boy, was the mood grim. Now we would face Invil and then Aboba. But against Invil we lost. And then we lost. Now it was 2-0 for them now, and last game it's over. We cannot get out of the groups anymore. It's over. And now they would defend on Fisherman's, which if you don't know, it's not an easy feat to break a camp there, especially against the best team in the world probably. And mind you, we would be coming into this losing 5 games in a row now. I mean, at this point we don't know if it's even possible to get out of the group anymore, even if we beat Invil and Aboba 3-0 for example. Did he just drown? Okay, that's kind of nice, but yeah. Three minutes left, about time to make a move, I guess. Wait, did we just win this? They played with 14 pretty much, so I guess it makes sense that we won. They will just crush us in the next one, probably anyways. Okay, right now it's looking actually really good. We are defending and we split them up. But if our EBR dies right here, we lose this one. And we are out of the tournament. Miku does hit him, but he gets spotted for it. And Miku is a one-shot. Mentos can take his time now and finish him off, right? Well, Manio had other ideas. Out of everyone, our field commander was the one with probably the most important shot of the whole thing. taking us into a tiebreaker with Invil. A tiebreaker which we would win. Very unexpected, but we are still far from getting out of the groups. And this is how the table looked like after the second round. Trigg managed to get into a tiebreaker with Aboba somehow. We managed to win against Invil somehow. The winners got 2 points respectively and losers 1. Now Invil would face Trigg and we would face Aboba, so basically what we would have to do to get through the groups would depend on the other match. But we knew that Invil would get 3 points easily against Trigg, so we basically now had to win.